What if a whole city went dark, just to really see each other? In the heart of a sprawling metropolis, a city that never slept, night was just a darker shade of day. The skyline, a dazzling tapestry of electric dreams, pulsed with relentless energy. Skyscrapers wore crowns of light. Billboards screamed silent advertisements in vibrant hues, and countless windows glowed like tiny, scattered embers. Down on the streets, the world was a blur of neon signs, car headlights, and the bluish glow from a million tiny screens held in a million hands. People moved in tides, a river of humanity flowing through canyons of steel and glass. They were surrounded by others, packed into subways, brushing shoulders on sidewalks. Yet they were profoundly alone. Eyes were fixed downwards, on phones, on tablets, on the shimmering pavement, anywhere but on the faces of those passing by. The city was bright, oh so very bright, but the people within it were living in their own personal shadows, rarely ever meeting another's gaze, rarely ever truly seeing one another. The constant hum of electricity had become the city's heartbeat, and the light, its constant, blinding companion, had inadvertently obscured the simple, quiet connections that make us human. Everyone was connected to the grid, but disconnected from each other. One crisp autumn morning, a message rippled through the city, appearing on the very screens that held everyone captive. The mayor, a woman known for her unconventional ideas, made a surprising announcement. Citizens, her voice echoed from news reports and public broadcasts. We live in the most illuminated city in the world. We have conquered the night. But I ask you, what have we lost in the process? She paused, letting the question hang in the air. For one night, this coming Saturday, we will conduct an experiment, an event we're calling the Great Dimming. For one night, we will turn off as many lights as we safely can. We will turn off the decorative lights on our bridges and buildings. We will ask businesses to darken their signs. And we ask you, the people of this city, to join us, to turn off your screens, dim your lights, and step into the quiet dark. The idea was radical, almost absurd in a city powered by perpetual light. It was a call to unplug, not just from the electrical grid, but from the habits that had come to define their modern lives. The city held its breath, unsure of what to make of this strange, bold proposition. The immediate reaction was a wave of grumbling and discontent. The city's digital forums and social networks buzzed with complaints. This is ridiculous. One comment read, "What are we supposed to do? Sit in the dark and talk." Another typed, "I have work to do. My entire life is on my screen. How will we live, even for a few hours, without our connections, without our entertainment?" The idea felt like a step backward an inconvenience, a forced boredom. People had forgotten how to exist without a glowing rectangle to guide their attention. The thought of an evening without streaming shows, endless scrolling, or video games was genuinely unsettling for many. The city, so accustomed to its fast-paced, brightly lit rhythm, was being asked to stop, to be still, to be quiet, and it resisted. But the mayor stood firm, and as Saturday approached, a strange mix of dread and curiosity settled over the metropolis. The sun began its descent on the designated evening, and with it, a sense of anticipation began to build. The usual evening ritual of lights flickering on was about to be reversed. Then, as twilight deepened into night, it began. Like a giant dimmer switch being turned down by an unseen hand, the city's brilliant glare softened. First, the grand, sweeping lights on the suspension bridges went out. Then, the pulsating advertisements on the sides of skyscrapers flickered and died. One by one, office buildings and storefronts followed, their bright facades going dark. Inside homes, people hesitantly turned off their televisions, put down their phones, and switched off their lamps. The city's constant electric hum subsided, replaced by a profound and unfamiliar silence. For the first time in generations, the deep, true dark of night fell upon the city. And as the last vestiges of artificial light vanished, something miraculous happened. High above, where there was once only an orange, hazy glow, a single star appeared. Then another, and another, until the sky was a breathtaking canvas of countless, glittering diamonds. A sight most city dwellers had only ever seen in pictures. It was the universe revealing itself to a city that had forgotten it was there. A collective gasp seemed to pass through the streets. People, drawn by the celestial spectacle, stepped out of their apartments. Families gathered on balconies, parents pointing out constellations they vaguely remembered from their own childhoods to children who had never seen them. In the hallways of apartment buildings, doors opened. Neighbors who had lived side by side for years, sharing a wall but never a word, emerged and introduced themselves, their faces softly illuminated by the starlight filtering through the windows. The shared sense of wonder became a bridge between them. Children, initially confused by the darkness, were now filled with an excited energy. They weren't scared. They were enchanted. They tugged on their parents' hands, pulling them towards windows and rooftops. Their small voices filled with awe as they pointed up at the Milky Way. A silver ribbon stretched across the sky that no one knew was even visible from their home. The city, in its darkness, had become a massive, open-air planetarium, and its citizens were all attendees, sharing a single, magnificent show. The streets, usually chaotic and loud, were now calm and filled with the gentle murmur of human voices. Without the glare of headlights and the distraction of phones, people started looking at each other. Strangers who would normally pass without a glance now stopped to talk. They gathered in small groups on street corners, sharing stories and observations, their faces animated under the soft, gentle glow of the moon. "I never knew our moon was so bright," one person would say. "I can see the craters in the city's vast parks." The atmosphere was magical. Someone brought out a guitar, and soon a soft melody drifted through the trees. Others joined in, clapping along or humming. People shared blankets and told jokes, their laughter echoing in the quiet air. They weren't just listening to music. They were listening to the city itself. They could hear the whisper of the wind through the tall buildings, the distant rustle of leaves, the sound of their own footsteps, the sound of their own collective breathing. It was the city's true soundtrack, one that had been drowned out for far too long. In the quiet darkness, they weren't just occupying a space, they were inhabiting it together. The sun rose the next morning, as it always did, and with it, the lights of the city slowly flickered back to life. The billboards resumed their silent shouting. The screens in a million hands lit up once more, and the familiar hum of electricity returned. On the surface, it seemed as if nothing had changed. The city was bright, busy, and connected as ever. People still had their jobs to go to, their messages to answer, their screens to watch. The river of humanity flowed once again through the concrete canyons, but underneath, something profound had shifted. It was a subtle change, not in the city's infrastructure, but in its soul. When neighbors passed in the hallway, they now smiled and said hello, remembering their shared view of the stars. Strangers on the subway would occasionally look up, their eyes meeting for a brief moment of acknowledgement. The city and its people still had their technology, their lights, and their screens, but they also had something new. They had a memory, a shared, quiet memory of a single night when the lights went out, and they found a different kind of illumination in the darkness, the light of being truly present, of being seen, of being together. Nothing and everything had changed. Thank you for watching. If this story resonated with you, please consider subscribing for more tales that explore the heart of our world. We'll see you in the next one.